This video is an introduction to a series where I'll be drawing Uncle Waffles from start to finish. On this video specifically, I'm going to talk about the best method to use to begin a drawing and the material to use. Hi, I'm Benele Dlamini and thank you for tuning in. Make sure you drop us a like so that YouTube can recommend this type of content to anybody who needs it. The reason why I'm doing this series is to offer a guide that you can follow if you are teaching yourself how to draw, or rather you are improving your drawing skills, to learn my techniques, to learn how I fix mistakes that I make during the drawing process, because I make a lot of mistakes. So I'm gonna make about 5 to 6 episodes that you can follow. So yeah, with that said, let's jump straight into it. Which is the best method to use to begin a drawing? When I was still a beginner artist, that was the question that I had in my mind, and I struggled a lot to decide which method I should use to do a sketch, or rather to begin a drawing. And I didn't have the privilege to go to YouTube to research. I started drawing using observation method, basically observing and trying to understand the object that I was drawing. If I was copying from a picture, I would try to understand the picture using shapes like a rectangle, divide the rectangle into halves or 4 parts, and using circles, if I have to use circles, to try to understand where everything should be. And then later, when I started going into YouTube, I was introduced into the Loomis Method. It's a very great method. I would advise if you are a beginner artist and you're struggling to choose which method to use, I would advise that you pick the Loomis Method. It's not all accurate. When I started practicing using it, I understood a lot about constructing a face. You can add your ability to observe to try to make the Loomis Method into your style. After using the Loomis Method, I later learned of the Grid Method, and I started using the Grid Method. Later, I wanted something which was going to save me time, because I started working on commission drawings, a lot of them. So I needed a method which was going to save me time. The Grid Method is, according to me, is more accurate. So with the 3 methods, the Loomis Method, the Grid Method, and the Observation Method, deciding which to use between the 3 right now when I do a drawing, I usually pick the Grid Method, but my ability to observe is still crucial even at this point. So that's why I always advise any beginner artist to use their observation skills to draw, and you can combine that with the Loomis Method. But if you are already using the Grid Method and you're not familiar with the other methods like the Loomis Method, I would advise that you learn the Loomis Method. It's a great method which is going to help you improve your skills and your ability to observe. For this drawing, where I'll be drawing Uncle Waffles, I'm going to use the Grid Method. I'll be working on a really large paper. However, I feel like I want to change a couple of things from the reference photo. That's where my ability of observation is going to help me, because whatever I'm going to add is going to come from my mind, or perhaps I might download other reference photos. If I'm going to reference from an object, my ability of observation and understanding an object is going to be helpful. So to summarize everything, you are a beginner artist, which method to use? Practice the Loomis Method and practice the observation method, your ability to observe and understand. And then later, if you feel like you want to use the Grid Method, you can use the Grid Method. Basically, you want to choose a method that's not going to limit the kind of art that you want to do. For an example, if you want to do surrealistic art, drawing some realistic figures, perhaps copying from other reference photos, perhaps thinking of the figures. The grid method could limit that, so being able to use other methods is really helpful and has proved to be helpful to me. On the next video, episode 2, I'm going to show you how I draw realistic hair. I upload videos every Wednesdays. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.